What's up, y'all? This is City Hall Chronicles, a new show brought to you by Red Roads Media, where we're gonna break down basically what locals are actually concerned about. This will be very helpful with organizations and organizers to assess where local need is and actually address that. So we're gonna get right into it. We're basically gonna break down this City Hall meeting and give you some things to pay attention to. Let's get right into it.
President of Brookhaven Civic Club. We are located near Sunnyside, and I am here in honor of my community because we consistently are having to deal with the same issues with our deed restrictions being violated by developers, or I'll say greedy developers.
So for context for this first speaker, I'm just going to break down a little bit what zoning laws are, and in Houston actually what a lack of zoning laws looks like. Houston is the only major city in the United States without city zoning laws. So that means that developers, if they want to come in, they have to abide by different rules, but not necessarily anything the city puts in place. So deed restrictions are a big way that Houston tries to regulate where developers can build, how tall things can be, how much parking, that sort of thing. But these deed restrictions are put in place by neighborhoods. And the neighborhoods are complaining because they aren't getting much help from the city to actually enforce these deed restrictions, even though because of the lack of zoning, Houston promises to be very on top of enforcing the deed restrictions, yet we haven't seen that play out. We've seen developers using Houston's lack of zoning laws to actually break up black and brown communities, build wherever they want, and kind of work around any type of rules that are already in place. So you'll see from the first speaker that there's a lot of frustration that comes into place in black and brown communities because they're having to enforce these deed restrictions themselves. Developers aren't listening when they do try to enforce their deed restrictions that are in place, and it's just a whole mess. You'll see.
But they want to now divide our properties, and so now they want to change our deed restrictions, amend them to fit the purpose of a developer changing. Not a resident who wants to build a house in there, but just developers. Also, we're having issues with now the developers want to bring in, make a new subdivision inside of our community. Our deed restrictions say that if anyone comes in, all property must fall under the same deed restriction that's written. So what I'm here for today is to ask for assistance from our city council people, because this is not just happening in Brookhaven. This is happening all around us in our black communities, where developers are going in trying to distort the value of our land. Everyone who moves into Brookhaven understands the rules and the deed restrictions and the size of our property, which is why we're there, because we like the way our community look. And so we're asking that we get some assistance. Also, the permitting department is issuing permits for people to build duplexes. After we've already been down here to fight about that. You cannot build a duplex, you cannot build an apartment in our neighborhood.
I got it.
And we're finding fake permits. We're literally having to police our neighborhood, take pictures of every permit for every piece of property, call in to see if it's real.
I just want to make sure I highlight the community policing going on here. I think it's worth applause that these people are stepping up for their own neighbors and for their neighborhood to enforce laws and deed restrictions that they shouldn't even have to. But that is causing police not to have to be called so much, and then causing unnecessary trouble, because we know when police are coming in contact with black and brown communities, it often leads to BS, let's say that. And I think that it's important to note that this community is taking the steps to actually do community policing. We see that word tossed a lot around on the left, but this is what it actually looks like, and this is how you actually show up for your neighbors so that police don't have to get involved. I think it's just worth some applause. This next clip is going to be a little hard to listen to. It was for me. Just the absolute homeless neglect. The mayor and the city don't even offer this gentleman real solutions to his problems. He just details a bunch of neglect that he's faced from the city trying to receive medical care, and he even mentions having a stroke and literally being denied medical care. It's a mess.
But anyway, I've been homeless for over 2 years, and I've came to the city council 3 times. This is my 4th time, and you, Mayor, set me up. I didn't get to speak in front of council, but you set me up with a liaison between the mayor's office and the Veterans Administration, and they've done nothing for me. As a matter of fact, I went to see one of the liaisons one time, and he told me flat to my face, "It's not that I can't help you, I won't help you." And there's something wrong with that picture right there, sir. When a man says
no, wait a minute. Who said that to you? Who said that to you?
One of your liaisons. I don't have his name right now.
Mr. Director Dembo? I know Director
Well, I've
Demo.
talked to all of them, sir, just
Well,
about.
there are only three. This either would be Director Demo,
I've talked to him at one time before, and he's done nothing.
or Dr. Jones, or Mark Eichenbaum. Those are the only three.
Okay, well, let me state this for the record. I've come down here numerous times to try to talk to him further, and the staff down here, the security down here, wouldn't let me talk to them. They give me excuses.
What is it that you need? Tell me what you need.
I need housing. I'm a homeless veteran, and you know how hard it is to get a job without permanent. Okay, when I was living on the street, I had my luggage. I got so sick that even the Metro bus driver had to help me off the bus. But when I got to the back door, after the bus turned around, the electronic doors were locked. So when I laid down on the ground there, because I didn't have no energy, and I was sicker than a dog, they come and got me by a stretcher, and it was about 10 o'clock at night. At 3 o'clock in the morning, they said there was nothing wrong with me. Then they put me in a wheelchair and pushed me to the back gate of the VA hospital right there on OST and made me get out of the wheelchair. So then I called the ambulance. They took me to Memorial Hermann Southwest. They wouldn't even triage me, and they had security escort me with my luggage to a bus stop on Beachfront. Then I called another ambulance. Then they took me to LBJ Hospital, and LB Hospital confirmed I had a stroke. I was so weak when I raised my arm like up there, I couldn't hold it up and go down like that. I was aspirating. They did swallowing tests, all kinds of tests, and they admitted.
God, I could barely stomach watching that, honestly. It's just heartbreaking. And we got a lot of comments when we posted the clip of the gentleman detailing some of what happened to him, of people talking about how the city has done the same thing to their families. And fuck you, honestly. Fuck you to Houston medical practitioners who are supposed to be giving care but are acting like cops instead. I can't stomach or justify any medical professional denying someone going through a medical spell healthcare. Like, I don't care if you don't want them to be taking drugs, or you don't want them to just try to use the hospital bed as a warm place to sleep for the night. If you don't have the humanity in you to recognize that even if they were there for those reasons, that they still need help, then fuck you, honestly. This next clip just shows a little bit the pettiness of the Houston mayor, Mayor Turner. He is petty, and someone calls in about a traffic light, but he just wants to insinuate that they're lying about being contacted by his office. It's confusing. He never even gets to the actual point about the traffic light, only says, okay, thanks, I'm gonna figure out who's lying in this situation. Just watch.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and happy holidays. Listen, we have a light that's supposed to have been, it was due to be completed at the corner of Homestead and Benetton back in March. And now that the light is up and it's completed, and we have Centerpoint, and everybody has put their, everybody has finished, the light has not, it has not come on. So I'm getting a lot of calls, and we've had multiple wrecks since October of this year. We've had accidents after accident, and somebody's going to get killed. And this is a matter of life and death. I don't understand why they're procrastinating. They gave us some reasons, but I talked to Sal. He called me, and he said he could not give me an answer since I'm getting on the docket. Then let you give the answer. So, Mayor, I don't know what that means, but I just wanted to find out what's prolonging them to go ahead and turn the light and get it working.
Well, the note, Ms. Compton, the note that they gave to me is that Houston Public Works reached out to you, and they notified you that the light would be activated in January.
No, they didn't. They said they gave me some excuses as to what the reason why it had not been on, but what day in January?
Well,
because accidents are happening every week.
Did they tell you that it would be activated in January?
I think they reached out to Councilman Jackson's office and gave her some information. So they didn't reach out to me directly. No.
Well, if they didn't reach out to you, then somebody is not telling me the truth. So let me find out who's not telling me the truth.
Thank you.
This next guy, he's his own special kind of cop. He's a landlord and lives right up to the slumlord reputation. Just watch.
Well, this is hello everyone. Happy holidays. This is the third time I'm having to address council about failure to respond in a timely manner to my property, 51 units, with basically trespassers, and they're not just simply trespassers. There's one particular trespasser who I evicted back in August, who continues to come back to my property. I've got some really groovy pictures here of him. This is on the 10th. Here he is on the 4th. I've called several times, had to call 4 times in August to get him out. I've been calling repeatedly. I've had my tenants call to get this person off the property. And police say either they don't show up, they show up 2 hours later. I understand it's not quite life and death at this point, but what he does is he befriends what I call street kids or predators and leeches. And those people are a little bit rough. Even though they're young, they come on, they backtalk.
Wait, where have I heard this exact same language?
They're not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy.
I knew it sounded familiar. This next person is actually way more likable, a very much needed, unserious, lighthearted break. You'll see.
I just want you to know that there comes a time when you have to fight the good fight of love. Fight the good fight of love. Fight the good fight of love. Why is that important? Well, I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm going to share it with you. Okay, the National Organic Food Drive is the first organic food drive in the United States, presented by God Resources Incorporated. It continues to target children and their families to decrease the 2020 U.S. Census recorded 14 million children suffering from food security within our country.
We must fight. I love the theatrics, honestly, and the cause this woman is fighting for is absolutely pertinent. And she mentions food insecurity, which is plaguing a lot of people in this capitalistic ass society. So I respect it. I could not actually find the National Organic Food Drive, which she mentioned, but if anyone can find it, please leave it in the comments. These next few speakers are actually concerned with the lack of answers that they've gotten on TAKEOFF's murder. TAKEOFF, if you didn't know, is a rapper who was killed in Houston not too long ago, and they want answers. Listen carefully though, because one or two of the speakers pretend to be from the area, and Mayor Turner calls them out, his petty ass. But he calls them out and mentions what city they're actually from, and so it's just a little funny. The situation, not funny at all, but these calls are a little.
Every doggone witness in the TAKEOFF case, and they're doing everything they can to intimidate every person that comes there to visit. It is a shame. You are the mayor. You're over the chief. If the chief can't do his job, you should take him out of there. It does not make sense. I am very upset because my kids cannot even come outside because of all the things that's going on in Fifth Ward. That needs to be cleaned up. This gambling stuff.
So her kids can't come out and play in Fifth Ward, a Houston subdivision, but she's from wherever. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually true or not, but the mayor is being petty there by saying what city these people are from instead of just saying, hey, y'all aren't locals. He's mentioning the city just to throw that out there. But this next caller is actually the most entertaining out of them all. He has some conspiracies. I won't even call them conspiracies. He has theories about the mayor and the chief's involvement in TAKEOFF's murder, and it makes her a very interesting case.
Mayor Turner, on last week, I asked you about the updates on TAKEOFF and the Duke the Jeweler murder. You told me to contact Houston Police Department, so I did. I contacted Chief Cold Case, a.k.a. Chief Troy Fenner, and I contacted his wife, Miss Shannon Fenner. Miss Shannon Fenner told me that she would tell me who killed TAKEOFF. She would tell me the chief's involvement in the murder of TAKEOFF if all I did was get Sylvester on the phone.
If you can sit us on the phone, you call me. I can give you what you need. I need you to have Sylvester. You call me.
Okay. I'm going to play it one more time. That's the chief's wife. Chief Fenner's wife told me she knows who killed TAKEOFF. She knows that all I got to do is get Sylvester on the phone, and she would tell me who killed TAKEOFF. Watch this, Chief. Watch this, Mayor.
If you can sit us on the phone, you call me. I can give you what you need. I need you to have Sylvester. You call me.
Okay. All right, now check this out. I don't know what your involvement is with the murder of TAKEOFF, Mayor. I don't know what the chief's involvement is with the mayor of TAKEOFF, with the murder of TAKEOFF, but I want justice for Duke the Jeweler, and I want justice for TAKEOFF. All right, now, the chief's wife told me to get you on the phone that you know what's going on with these murders, and that she would tell us everything we needed to know, the way that Jay Prince is involved, Michael Prince, all the Princes, even the chief. Now, I called the chief. I talked to the chief on the phone, and he thought I was Michael Prince. He was trying to cover up the murder on the phone. That's the chief, somebody that you hired. So this is what I want you to do. If you cannot give us updates or tell us who killed TAKEOFF, who killed Duke the Jeweler, I want you to resign. I already have 8,000 signatures. We're going for 10,000 signatures. I got 8,000 electronic signatures. I want you to resign. I want the chief of police to resign today, or I will be down there next week. I will be in person next week, and you will see me standing in that hallway if you do not resign, Mayor. All right? So you and the chief need to resign. You need to tell Houston that you and the chief were involved in the murder of TAKEOFF.
Why don't you give me your address? Why don't you give me your address so I can find you? Why don't you give me your address so I can find you?
Oh, you want my address? My address is P.O. Box 4111, Dallas, Texas, 75241. That's my address.
That's just too cute. Okay, thank you very much from Dallas.
Oh my God. He's playing phone calls and all. He's got the facts. He's got the receipts. He's not playing with nobody. This next caller says to Mayor that we want answers and you better provide them. Mayor Turner gets a little spicy there in the last one though. He definitely said, I'm gonna pull up, where's your location? Bring fighting back to politics. I hate Houston Mayor Turner, but we should bring back, I don't know, squaring up one good time. This last caller says, Mayor Turner, you better give us answers, and I respect it.
The chief should turn in his resignation because you appointed him, so you are the one that's driving the ship. So I think that the chief is doing a real hateful, bad job, even though I'm not from there, but I got common sense to see what I need to see. So, sir, I just ask you, as the mayor who appointed him, your ship to at least ride straight, or both of y'all need to resignate. That's all. We for the people. You say you for the people. So be for the people and let the people get peace for Duke the Jeweler and Takeoff. At least give us 30 days to come up with something on Duke the Jeweler. Please. This young man died out there in the street. It's crazy. So please give us 30 days to at least tell us something what's going on with that case. So, sir, you the driving this ship. Drive it straight. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Appreciate the call from Florida. So we're going to start off. That did it for me. So as of the beginning of next year, you must now come to the chamber, and council members, you must be in your seats. This will show that when you start abusing it, then it's time to end it, and it's being abused. And enough. I've had enough of this. So if you're not bold enough to show up, I'm not going to take the time to be listening to this foolishness.
The mayor is so petty and so almost childish that he can't even respond to these calls. Instead, he's implementing a rule that there's no more calls into City Hall starting in 2023. So it would have already started now. Is that not ableist? But whatever, none of my business. This last lady asked the questions I think we all want to know. She says, what does the mayor even do? What does the mayor's office even do? And it just shows and goes to show a lack of public education when it comes to politics and when it comes to how politics work. But this is going to be the last one. Check it out.
And I'm asking again for the mayor's office to interject and look at this. Not to send me some 211 information I can dial myself for, but some leads that I can't. Your time has expired.
Fortunately, Ms. Sims, you can't interject in a court case.
I mean, I'm not the court case, but the Department of Justice. I need oversee a mayor's office does what? I mean, explain to me what the mayor's office does. Maybe I'm barking the wrong tree.
Yeah, because I just don't think from this end that we're going to be able to assist you.
I mean, what do you do? What is the mayor's office? What do they do? I mean, what?
Deal with a lot of matters as it relates from.
I'm here, sir. You can look at me.
We're not going to be able to help you in your particular case, Ms. Sims.
Could you explain to me what the mayor's office does? What your
I'll tell you better yet. What is your specific request, and then I can tell you what I'm
I requested again for immediate investigation on the family court system. All the children have been snatched away, especially black and brown, in the foster care system, and now sitting in offices sitting there for nothing. They have an adoption list that wraps around the corner, sir.
Ms. Sims, I'm right. I'm not trying to argue with you today.
I'm not arguing. I just asked you a question.
Well, I know.
You haven't answered yet.
We cannot help you on your particular request.
Okay. What does the mayor's office do?
Councilmember Pollard.
Thank you, Mayor. Man, we only deal with local ordinances.
Explain.
Local ordinances are laws that oversee things that are just for the city of Houston. What you were asking about, for one, is in the judicial branch, which is county, and then the Department of Justice, which is
accounting.
Family law.
Okay.
Their family court.
Of course.
So, but you're asking about the Department of Justice, which is federal. Maybe you can contact your congressperson because
I did.
No, your congressperson.
I did. Sheila Jackson Lee. I did.
Okay. And continue to go at the federal level. But when you come here to the city level asking about federal issues or family court issues, we don't have any jurisdiction. And so you are barking up the wrong tree with using your words. But if you want to continue to come, by all means, please come.
I don't waste my energy and time.
There's only but so much we can do. And when it comes to your particular issue, there's nothing that we can do other than wish you well.
So the mayor's office doesn't oversee the court system or none of that?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's a wrap on City Hall Chronicles, episode 1, brought to you by Red Rose Media. I'm Maya. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a lot more of these coming. We want to give you the local issues that locals actually care about. So keep following us. We're on IG at Red Rose Media _. You can subscribe here, and thank you.